The global wild boar population is currently estimated at between 10 to 15 million individuals. They are widely distributed across Asia, Europe, the Americas, and Australia, posing a serious threat to agriculture and native ecosystems. With their destructive strength and cunning ability to evade detection, wild boars are formidable adversaries for any hunter. That's why hunting them is always an intense challenge, demanding patience, experience, and a clear strategy. Reaching the mountaintop gave us a clear vantage point. With such a wide view, there was no way the wild boars moving below could escape our sights. Barlow and I quickly opened fire, but unfortunately, none of the bullets found their mark. The boars sharply changed direction and took off in another path. We had to pursue them immediately. There they are. Led by the alpha, the herd followed closely behind. Heart pounding, I raised my rifle and aimed at a large one. Perfect shot. The bullet hit dead on, striking the target and sending it tumbling down the slope. Another breathless pursuit was happening at Chad's location. He quickly chased after his target and fired, but the boar dashed away so fast that the bullets only grazed it. Refusing to give up, he kept firing. This time, the powerful barrage brought the boar down for good.
Ağaçlık bir bölge olduğu için çekemedik. O orada kaldı. Tüm avcı dostlara rastgele diyorum.
While continuing our search, Barlow and I both spotted a dark shape flickering on the opposite mountain. Without a word, we raised our rifles, adjusted our scopes, and fired. However, thick brush blocked the bullet's path. It wasn't until the second shot that the boar let out a painful scream and collapsed. After locating the animal, we fired one more shot to ensure there would be no unexpected counterattack. Half an hour passed, and suddenly, a herd of wild boars came crashing through the dense foliage in front of us. This was our moment. My teammates quickly took position from two angles, ensuring no boar could escape. Gunfire erupted in rapid succession. The first boar was struck and dropped immediately. The rest scattered in panic, trying to flee, but a few unlucky ones didn't make it out alive. The herd was clearly familiar with this terrain, making the hunt more tense than ever. They weren't running blindly. They moved with purpose, heading straight for the mountain peak where the forest thickened. From our position on the hillside, we watched dark shapes streaking through the canopy. We held our ground and opened fire instantly. The startled boars scattered in chaos. One bullet struck a vital spot on the boar, making it stumble, lose momentum, and tumbled down the slope. The last rays of the evening sun lit the mountain, just enough to help us spot a target as we descended. The slope here was open, with few trees for the boar to hide. That gave us the perfect chance to take it down cleanly and decisively, without any struggle. The boars mistakenly thought descending the mountain would bring safety. Little did they know, we had already set up blockades at every exit. With a proactive approach, it didn't take long before we took down several. Shot and rolling across the ground, they lay motionless in the end.
Ist gut, ist gut.
$15,000. That's the amount of damage my family suffered when a herd of wild boars destroyed our orchard and food storage. They were also the source of a dangerous disease outbreak among the livestock on our farm. I, along with a few local residents, had no choice but to arm ourselves and go hunting before the situation spiraled out of control. Our only goal, to completely eliminate the wild boar threat. At the break of dawn, we arrived at the designated hunting grounds. The pack of hounds quickly sprang into action and soon locked onto a new target. Their loud barking immediately drew the team's attention. We stood ready, and as soon as the boars came into view, we pulled the trigger without hesitation. This was the price they had to pay. But that was just the beginning. We knew more challenges awaited us. We continued moving in search of another target. Suddenly, a large boar burst out of the bushes by the trail. I was startled for a moment, but my hunter's instinct quickly took over. I squeezed the trigger. A shot rang out. Several shots followed in quick succession. The boar staggered, collapsed, and its heavy breathing gradually faded. It had become a feast for the hounds. Within half an hour, the area returned to its usual stillness. We kept moving patiently, waiting for our next opportunity. Finally, that familiar sound rang out, a promising signal. A boar had been spotted and darted out from a thicket. Wasting no time, I fired. The bullet hit its mark, though the boar wasn't immediately finished. He had no chance of escape under the ruthless chase and attacks from the dogs. We had barely moved for 2 minutes when the bushes ahead began to rustle. Not missing the opportunity, we quickly raised our rifles, hearts pounding. In the blink of an eye, a bullet sliced through the air and struck the target dead on.
Bravo, yeah.
The boar dropped instantly, a clean, lethal shot. Fast and precise. Gunfire echoed loudly through the forest, startling the boars and sending them fleeing from their hideouts. I was assigned to pursue them and intercept at the open grassland. One boar, then two, and soon a whole group came charging at us. I stayed calm, kept my grip firm on the rifle, and fired repeatedly. One of them was hit and wounded.
Scoot, scoot.
From the grassland, I moved a few hundred meters further when suddenly a wild boar lunged out right in front of me. I quickly raised my rifle and took a decisive shot. Even from a considerable distance, the bullet flew true and brought the animal down with finality. Right after that, the growls and barking of the dogs led me to another boar. The whole pack had surrounded it, but when it saw an opening, it bolted. From 50 meters away, I aimed through the scope, took a deep breath, and pulled the trigger. But this boar was tough. It took several shots before it finally went down. The dogs then rushed in, eager to claim their reward.